Silence follows people who secretly believe life forgot them. Every day feels the same. Wake up, stress, bills, pressure, waiting for one lucky moment to finally change everything. Yet very few people ever stop and ask the real question. What if luck is not avoiding you because you are unlucky? What if the energy behind your thoughts is quietly pushing opportunities away before they even reach your life? Most people spend years chasing money with fear in their hearts. They buy lottery tickets while expecting disappointment. They pray while secretly believing nothing will happen. They speak about wealth while emotionally preparing for failure. And without realizing it, they train their own mind to stay trapped in lack. The human brain is far more powerful than most people understand. Studies in psychology have shown that belief changes behavior, focus, emotional reactions, confidence, and even the ability to notice opportunities hidden in everyday life. People who constantly expect failure begin acting differently without noticing it. Their decisions change, their energy changes, their attention changes, stress becomes normal, fear becomes familiar, and slowly desperation starts controlling the way they think. That desperation becomes heavy, quietly heavy. It changes the way a person speaks, reacts, sleeps, and dreams. Some people spend years saying they want abundance, while emotionally living in survival mode every single day. This is why many people feel exhausted even before anything bad happens. Their mind never leaves panic, their body never leaves tension, their spirit never leaves fear. Then one day they hear a story about someone who won millions from a single ticket, and suddenly hope returns for a few moments. But there is another side to this conversation that very few people talk about. A side connected to mindset, emotional energy, subconscious conditioning, and the strange relationship between belief and attraction. Some people carry calm confidence even during difficult times. They do not beg life for miracles. They do not emotionally collapse every night. They move differently, think differently, react differently, and somehow opportunities begin appearing around them more often, not because they control the universe like magic, but because their mind is no longer programmed only for fear. Scientists have discovered that the brain constantly filters reality based on emotional patterns. The things you focus on repeatedly begin shaping your awareness. A person focused only on problems sees more problems. A person emotionally consumed by lack notices every reason to feel poor. But a person training their mind toward possibility begins seeing doors that others ignore. This video is not about magic numbers, it is not about fake promises, and it is not about forcing the universe to obey your wishes overnight. This video is about the hidden emotional patterns that quietly shape your relationship with luck, money, abundance, and opportunity. There are wealthy people who once had nothing but refused to mentally live like victims. There are successful people who trained themselves to stop worshipping fear. There are ordinary people whose entire lives changed after changing the way they emotionally responded to uncertainty. Most people never hear this because the world profits from desperation. Fear sells faster than peace. Panic controls attention, but calm belief changes people from the inside out. And that inner shift affects everything. Throughout this video, you will learn why emotional desperation blocks clarity, why obsession creates resistance, why calm minds notice opportunities faster, and why many people unknowingly train themselves to stay stuck even while praying for success. You will also learn how the subconscious mind reacts to repetition, why emotional energy affects daily decisions more than logic, and why some people seem naturally lucky without understanding the psychological patterns behind it. There is also a hidden reason why many lottery winners lose everything after becoming rich. The outside changes, but the inner identity stays the same. A poor mindset inside a rich life creates chaos. This is why true abundance begins internally before it appears externally. Near the end of this video, a powerful mental shift will be shared that may completely change the way you think about money, luck, stress, and attraction. A shift that can help you stop feeling emotionally trapped by your current situation. Many viewers may enter this video expecting motivation, but what you are about to hear goes deeper than motivation. This is about emotional conditioning, mental focus, identity, detachment, and the silent patterns controlling millions of lives every single day. Some people spend their entire existence waiting for luck to save them, while unknowingly pushing peace further away. Others learn how to emotionally align themselves with calm certainty before success even arrives. That difference changes everything. The strange part is that most people never notice when their own thoughts become chains. They only notice the pain those thoughts create later. Tonight, for the next few minutes, allow yourself to listen differently, not with panic, not with desperation, but with curiosity. Because one idea can sometimes redirect an entire life. One realization can interrupt years of emotional suffering. One shift in perspective can quietly open doors that fear kept closed. And by the end of this video, your relationship with luck, abundance, and even your future may begin changing in ways you never expected. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy deep videos about mindset, subconscious transformation, abundance, and emotional power, subscribe now and become part of this journey. There is much more ahead. Most people never realize that their relationship with money was damaged long before they ever bought a lottery ticket. The problem usually begins in silence, small moments, stress at home, fear about bills, watching other people succeed while feeling left behind. Over time, the mind slowly learns a dangerous emotional pattern. Survival first, fear first, panic first. Then one day a person sees the lottery as more than a game. It becomes emotional rescue, a final door, a secret escape, a desperate answer to years of pressure. And this is where the hidden problem begins. Because when people approach money from emotional pain, they unknowingly train their subconscious to stay emotionally connected to lack. Their words may say, "I want abundance," but their emotions scream something completely different. Their nervous system says, "I am scared." Their thoughts say, "Nothing ever works for me." Their habits say, "Life is against me." This emotional contradiction quietly shapes the way they experience life every single day. Many people wake up already tired before the day even begins, not because their body is weak, because their mind has been carrying fear for too long. They constantly think about what could go wrong. They check bank accounts with anxiety. They look at successful people with hidden frustration. They buy lottery tickets while emotionally preparing to lose again. And without realizing it, they strengthen the identity of someone waiting to be saved. That identity becomes powerful. The subconscious mind records repetition. Whatever emotions you repeat daily slowly become familiar to your brain. Stress repeated enough times becomes normal. Panic repeated enough times becomes personality. Scarcity repeated enough times becomes identity. This is why some people cannot relax even during peaceful moments. Their mind has memorized fear. Their emotions have adapted to struggle. Their body stays tense because survival mode became permanent. Many people do not chase wealth, they chase emotional relief. That is the deeper truth hidden underneath all the obsession. They want the stress to stop. They want to sleep peacefully. They want freedom from pressure. They want security. They want to feel safe in life again. The lottery becomes symbolic. Not just money, not just numbers. It becomes hope. It becomes escape. It becomes the fantasy of finally breathing without fear. But the strange thing is that desperation changes the energy behind every thought. A desperate mind focuses differently. It notices problems faster than opportunities. It reacts emotionally to small setbacks. It expects disappointment before results even arrive. Psychology has shown that human expectations deeply affect emotions, decisions, confidence, and awareness. People who constantly expect failure begin unconsciously behaving like failure is already guaranteed. Their posture changes, their motivation changes, their attention changes, even the way they interpret reality changes. A hopeful person and a hopeless person can stand in the same room and notice completely different opportunities because their minds are emotionally trained to search for different outcomes. This is why belief matters more than most people understand. Belief is not magic. Belief changes behavior, and behavior changes life. Someone who believes they are doomed starts giving up mentally before life even tests them. Someone who believes change is possible begins acting with more openness, more awareness, and more emotional control. Fear narrows vision, calm expands it. This is why emotional desperation becomes dangerous. It keeps the brain trapped inside survival thinking. It keeps attention locked onto problems, and over time the mind becomes emotionally addicted to lack without realizing it. Many people secretly believe struggle is permanent. Even when they talk positively, deep inside they still expect disappointment. That expectation quietly controls everything. The subconscious mind listens more to emotion than words. A person can repeat affirmations all day while emotionally feeling hopeless underneath. The subconscious follows the stronger signal, and emotions are stronger than forced words. This is why some people say they want wealth while continuing to emotionally live like victims. The fear never leaves, the tension never leaves. Their happiness becomes dependent on one future event saving them, one ticket, one miracle, one random moment fixing years of emotional exhaustion. But life rarely changes from emotional dependence. Dependence creates pressure. Pressure creates fear. Fear creates obsession. And obsession keeps the mind emotionally attached to not having enough. The strange part is that many people never notice this cycle. They think the problem is outside them. They think they simply need more luck, more money, better timing. But the hidden battle is often internal. A person who constantly feels emotionally empty cannot suddenly feel whole because of a number on a screen. This is why so many lottery winners eventually lose everything. Their external reality changed overnight, but their inner identity stayed the same. Fear remained, scarcity remained, emotional instability remained. Money entered their life, but peace never entered their mind. Without emotional stability, abundance becomes chaos. This is why the deeper transformation must happen internally first. Most people spend years chasing outcomes without ever changing the emotional state creating their reality. They worship results while neglecting identity. But identity shapes behavior every single day, and behavior shapes direction. A fearful person makes fearful decisions. A calm person makes clearer decisions. A desperate person reacts emotionally. A grounded person responds with awareness. This is why the emotional state behind your actions matters more than the actions themselves. Two people can buy the same lottery ticket while carrying completely different emotional energy. One buys from panic, the other buys from calm possibility. One feels broken, the other feels open. One emotionally begs life to save them. The other already believes life can improve. That difference may seem invisible from the outside, but internally it changes everything. The mind responds differently when it feels safe. Creativity increases, awareness sharpens, confidence rises, emotional control improves. People begin noticing opportunities they ignored before. They begin speaking differently, acting differently, carrying themselves differently. This is why calm belief becomes powerful, not because it magically controls random events, but because it transforms the person experiencing life. Most people think abundance starts when money appears, but abundance actually begins the moment fear stops controlling every thought. There are people with very little money who still carry emotional peace, and there are wealthy people who live in constant panic. The difference is internal conditioning. One mind feels safe, the other feels threatened. One identity trusts possibility, the other identity worships fear. The subconscious mind follows whatever emotional pattern is repeated most often. If someone spends years emotionally rehearsing failure, the brain adapts to that emotional environment. But if a person slowly begins practicing calm certainty, the nervous system begins changing too. This is why visualization and self-talk became powerful tools in psychology and personal development. Not because they control reality like magic, but because repeated mental focus changes emotional conditioning over time. The brain responds to repetition. When someone repeatedly visualizes peace, confidence, safety, and abundance, the mind slowly becomes more familiar with those emotional states. That familiarity changes self-perception, and self-perception changes behavior. A person who internally feels worthy moves differently through life. A person who internally feels doomed unconsciously blocks themselves. This is why emotional availability matters. Most people are emotionally available for stress, but emotionally unavailable for peace. They expect bad news faster than miracles. They prepare for loss faster than opportunity. Their nervous system trusts fear more than abundance because fear has been repeated longer. But there is one emotional state that changes everything. Calm certainty, not fake positivity, not forced excitement. Quiet emotional safety, the ability to stop chasing long enough to breathe again. The ability to stop begging life for rescue. The ability to feel stable before proof arrives. That emotional shift changes the entire relationship with abundance, because now the person is no longer emotionally worshipping the outcome. They are no longer placing all hope onto one ticket. They are no longer mentally collapsing every time uncertainty appears. Instead, they begin creating internal peace first. And strangely, this is often when life starts feeling different. Not because the universe suddenly becomes magical overnight, but because the person is no longer vibrating like someone emotionally broken. Their decisions improve. Their awareness improves, their energy softens, their reactions become calmer. They stop carrying the emotional heaviness of desperation everywhere they go. This is why emotional detachment becomes important. Detachment does not mean giving up. It means releasing emotional dependency. It means wanting something without needing it to emotionally survive. Most people confuse obsession with desire, but obsession is fear wearing the mask of hope. True confidence feels lighter, calmer, more open. A person grounded in emotional certainty does not panic every second waiting for life to change. They trust the process of becoming. They stop measuring their worth through temporary conditions. They stop treating money like the only path to peace. Because eventually they realize what they truly wanted was never paper. It was freedom from emotional suffering, freedom from stress, freedom from fear, freedom from survival mode. Peace was always the deeper desire hidden underneath the obsession. And once a person begins emotionally understanding the truth, everything slowly starts shifting inside them. Now slow everything down for a moment. Stop thinking about numbers. Stop thinking about deadlines. Stop thinking about pressure. For the next few minutes, allow your mind to become quiet. Close your eyes if you can. Let the noise around you disappear slowly. Let the stress leave your shoulders little by little. Your entire life has been moving too fast for too long. Constant worry, constant thinking, constant emotional tension. Most people never truly rest mentally. Even during silence, their mind keeps fighting invisible battles. Their thoughts keep running toward fear, toward survival, toward uncertainty. But tonight is different. Tonight is not about forcing life to change overnight. Tonight is about changing the emotional state you carry inside yourself every single day. Take a slow breath and notice how heavy your mind has been lately. Notice how much pressure you have silently carried without telling anyone. Some people smile in front of others while emotionally collapsing inside. Some people laugh during the day but feel fear every night before sleeping. The mind becomes exhausted from years of stress, and eventually the body begins believing struggle is normal. But deep inside you, there is still a part that wants peace, a part that still wants to believe life can improve. That part is still alive. That part never disappeared. It only became buried underneath fear. So breathe slowly and begin releasing the emotional weight you have been carrying for too long. Stop fighting this moment. Stop chasing outcomes for a second. Just listen. Just exist. Just allow yourself to feel safe right now. Picture yourself waking up in the morning without panic sitting in your chest. No heavy feeling, no instant stress, no fear waiting beside your bed. Your eyes open slowly and your mind feels calm. Your breathing feels lighter. For once, your first thought is not worry. Your first thought is peace. Feel what that would feel like emotionally. Not the money, not the numbers, the feeling, the relief, the quiet safety inside your chest. Now picture yourself checking your phone without anxiety. No fear of bad news, no stress about bills, no emotional tension running through your body. Your nervous system finally relaxes because your mind no longer feels trapped in survival mode. Most people do not realize how deeply fear affects the body. Constant stress changes breathing patterns, sleep patterns, emotional reactions, even simple moments become heavy. But when the mind feels safe, the entire body begins softening. Feel that softness now. Feel your shoulders relaxing. Feel your thoughts slowing down. Feel the emotional pressure leaving your chest little by little. Picture yourself walking outside while no longer feeling mentally trapped. The sky feels different. The air feels different. Life feels open again. Notice how your body responds to peace. This is important because the subconscious mind remembers emotional states more deeply than words. When you repeatedly feel stress, your brain adapts to stress. But when you repeatedly practice calm certainty, your nervous system slowly begins adapting to peace instead. This is why emotional repetition matters, not fake positivity. Real emotional practice, calm breathing, calm thoughts, calm expectation. The goal is not pretending problems do not exist. The goal is refusing to emotionally drown inside them. Right now, let yourself mentally step into a different identity. Not the version of you constantly begging life for rescue, not the exhausted version expecting disappointment every day. Become the version of yourself that feels emotionally grounded before external proof appears. Feel what confidence feels like in your body. Quiet confidence, not loud, not desperate, calm, stable, safe. Your future self is not panicking right now. Your future self is not emotionally addicted to fear. Your future self already understands something important. Peace must come before abundance can truly stay. This is why so many people sabotage themselves without realizing it. They become emotionally dependent on outcomes. Every day they constantly check for signs, constantly look for proof, constantly ask when their life will finally change, and that emotional obsession keeps reinforcing one painful message to the subconscious mind. I do not have it. I do not trust life. I am still afraid. Obsession creates resistance because obsession is emotionally rooted in fear. The mind keeps focusing on absence instead of emotional stability. This is why some people spend years chasing abundance while internally practicing scarcity every single day. Their body becomes addicted to tension. Their thoughts become addicted to survival mode. Their emotions become addicted to waiting for disaster. But abundance moves easier toward relaxed minds. A calm mind sees opportunities more clearly. A relaxed mind responds with better judgment. A peaceful mind notices possibilities that fearful minds completely miss. This is not magic, it is psychological conditioning. The brain filters reality based on emotional focus. A fearful mind searches for danger. A peaceful mind searches for possibility. That difference affects everyday life more than people realize. Think about how many times fear has controlled your emotions before anything even happened. Think about how often you suffered mentally over situations that never became real. The mind can become trapped in imaginary fear for years, and eventually the body begins believing anxiety is protection. But fear is not always protection. Sometimes fear becomes the prison itself. Sometimes the emotional habit of worrying becomes stronger than reality. That is why detachment matters. Detachment is not giving up on dreams. It is releasing emotional desperation. It is wanting something without emotionally collapsing over it. Most people think they must obsess constantly in order to receive something. But obsession drains emotional energy. It creates pressure. It creates tension. It creates mental exhaustion. True confidence feels calmer. A person emotionally aligned with peace does not spend every second begging life for validation. They trust that life can still move in their favor, without panic controlling every thought. They stop forcing signs. They stop emotionally chasing every tiny coincidence. They stop turning every moment into proof of failure. Instead, they begin focusing on internal stability first. They begin choosing emotional peace even before circumstances fully change. And strangely, this emotional shift changes the way life feels around them. Because when the nervous system relaxes, clarity returns, confidence returns, awareness returns. Many people unknowingly push themselves deeper into fear by constantly checking outcomes, checking numbers every hour, searching for miracles every minute, looking for evidence that life is finally changing. But emotional addiction to results keeps the mind trapped in absence. It keeps reminding the subconscious that peace has not arrived yet, that safety has not arrived yet, that happiness still depends on something external happening first. But real emotional freedom begins when peace no longer waits for permission from the outside world. Take another slow breath. Feel the quiet around you. Feel your body relaxing again. Feel the possibility that your life may already be changing internally in ways you cannot fully see yet. Sometimes transformation begins silently. Sometimes the biggest changes start deep inside the mind before they appear externally. Maybe this message entered your life at the exact moment you needed it most. Maybe years of fear are finally becoming too heavy to carry. Maybe your spirit is tired of survival mode. Maybe your mind is ready for something different now. Not panic, not obsession, not emotional exhaustion, but calm belief, quiet trust, emotional freedom. There are moments in life where a person stops fighting themselves, stops doubting every possibility, stops assuming disappointment before life even responds. And in that moment, something begins shifting internally. The future no longer feels completely closed. Hope no longer feels impossible. Breathing no longer feels heavy. This is the emotional state where healing begins, not because every problem disappears instantly, but because fear no longer controls the entire mind. You begin waking up differently, thinking differently, feeling differently. Life starts opening emotionally before it opens physically. And once that inner door opens, everything begins changing little by little. The energy you carry into conversations changes. The way you react to stress changes. The way you see yourself changes. Even uncertainty begins feeling lighter because your emotional state is no longer completely dependent on external conditions. This is what most people spend their whole lives searching for without realizing it. Not just wealth, not just success, inner safety, emotional peace, freedom from fear, freedom from desperation, freedom from feeling broken inside. Because the moment you stop needing the lottery to save you, you stop vibrating like someone waiting to be rescued. You begin carrying yourself differently. Your nervous system softens, your thoughts soften, your identity softens. And from that place of emotional calm, life begins feeling less like a battle and more like an open road. Maybe your next chapter is already trying to enter your life. Maybe the reason this message feels different is because some part of you already knows it is time to stop living emotionally trapped by fear. Maybe this is the beginning of a new relationship with yourself, a new relationship with peace, a new relationship with possibility. And maybe the most powerful truth of all is this: you do not chase what already belongs to you. And maybe that is the real shift happening inside you right now. Not a sudden miracle, not instant riches, but a quiet change in the way you see yourself and your future. The moment a person stops living entirely from fear, life begins feeling different, lighter, softer, more open. Sometimes the biggest transformation begins in complete silence, a new thought, a calmer breath, a small decision to finally believe that life is not permanently against you. Carry that feeling with you after this video ends. Do not rush back into panic. Do not return immediately to emotional chaos. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. Protect the version of yourself that is slowly learning how to trust again. Because the mind you sleep with tonight is shaping the reality you wake up to tomorrow. If this message connected with something deep inside you, stay connected with this channel. Subscribe now for more videos about mindset, abundance, inner peace, and subconscious transformation. And if this video helped you feel even a little calmer tonight, take a second to like the video. It truly helps this message reach more people who silently feel lost, tired, or emotionally stuck in life. Share this with someone who needs hope right now. Someone carrying stress in silence. Someone who forgot that life can still change. And before you close your eyes tonight, remember this feeling. Remember this peace. Remember that your story is still unfolding. Tonight, sleep as someone who already believes life can change.